documentary or class last year.
And first of all, I want to thank everyone then for watching, but mostly Miss Bess for being that raw and honest and vulnerable with all of us. So it's really grateful to have had that conversation with her. And I think with this documentary naman, our primary goal was to really show you truth that Miss Beth was willing to share with us. And we also wanted to really focus on kung ano yung nasa puso niya at parang i-translate lang yun with this documentary. So, yeah, thank you.
Hello, I'm Kenneth. First of all, happy New Year this month po. Thank you kay Ms. Bems and buong team niya for organizing this. Nung ginagawa namin yung documentary, hindi lang kami natuto from Ms. Bems, but also was inspired on how to act every day for our everyday life. And yeah, it's a learning experience and mas relating niya yung fire namin as student filmmakers to create a queer film not just a documentary to represent our community with respect and with love and integrity. And ayun.
Hello, thank you sa Queen's Dance and everyone here. So, with our short film, we just really wanted to show yung narratives of a trans woman na hindi naman siya iba sa narratives of other women. Isa lang siyang tao na nagmamahal din, isang tao na nakaka-experience ng bagay-bagay. Kaya we are not so different from one another. All the women are just the same, and we are fighting for the same equality. And as we love Miss movements for queer people, and with this we just want to show her more personal side, to be more relatable to people, and to show her.
Thank you for sharing your insights and creating such an meaningful piece. And now we transition from storytelling to real conversations. But before we start, may we invite the panelists here in front row. Ms. Bems Benedito from Very Creatives, Ms. Gigi Marie Garcia and Ms. Venus Ancheta Lane from STRAP, and of course our UP Diliman filmmakers. And here with us today is Ms. Ryan Paz, who will moderate our panel discussion.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. So for ngayong hapon, we're just gonna have a little chika, of course, about the film and the realm of Filipina trans women stories since it's Women's Month this March. Alright, ready na ba kayo sa nakakatanin? Interview talaga ito. Alright, so since we already nakalala natin yung mga gumawa ng film sa beauty, let's go over to our sisters from STRAP, Miss Gigi and Miss Venus. Introduce yourself and your thoughts on the film that you have watched.
And your own stories.
Yeah.
It's really fun. Diba?
Sige, magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat. So, muli ako po si Gigi Jenny Garcia from Society of Trans Women of the Philippines. So, as Beth mentioned, we are a pioneer and the longest support group and human rights organization for and of trans women. So, ayun, happy National Women's Month, everyone. And also sa paparating na March 31, Happy International Transgender Day of Visibility. So, ayun, sabi ka. Ayun, your story, baby. Ay, sige, yung journey ko naman po, no. I think, gusto ko lang din sabihin, no, yung mga kwento ng mga trans ay may part na similar, may part na hindi din
similar. Iba-iba naman din yung mga journey namin. Pagdating sa akin, iba din ang journey ko. Unlike with Miss Bess, no? Nung ako, nung growing up, I don't want to be called a boy, a guy. I don't want to be called as even a gay. So maybe now that parang gender spectrum is clear to me, no? Parang back then, hindi pa ako nagta-transition, parang I identify as non-binary. So parang I don't want to fall to the binary or expectation that for being a boy. So, ayun, and then I started with my journey when I was in UP Diliman. I was also a student from the College of Social Work and Community Development. I'm a community development major. It started when meron akong isang classmate. She was part of an LGBT org sa UP. Tapos, parang we had a conversation lang na parang kasi siya, open siya, she identifies as a lesbian woman, ganyan. Parang tinanong niya ako, how do you identify yourself? Tapos parang doon ko na-explain na parang hindi kasi ako gay, gano'n. So, and then explain ko, blah, blah, blah. And then parang sabi niya ba, maka-trans ka. So, after that, parang I did some Google, ganyan. Ano ba yung sabihin ng pagiging transgender woman? And then I said, parang, ay, oo nga, ito nga yung term that, you know, na nag-resonate to me. So, parang, after that, parang feeling ko naging malinaw lahat. Naging malinaw lahat kasi before my transition, parang hindi malinaw sa akin na parang, but parang I have to comply with the expectation ng society na I have to develop as a man, pero I don't see myself as a man. Pero the way I communicate, my clothing, my hair, ganyan, parang feminine. So, ayun, yung start na with transition, of course, I start, back then, no, iba pa yung panahon ngayon, noon, way back 2011-ish. Parang, ano pa no, kasi wala pang malinaw na parang gender affirmatory dati, parang, it's more of the rights lang ng trans women yung napapag-usapan pa back then. So when I started transitioning, it was difficult kasi I did DIY, do it yourself. Though in SRAP, we don't condemn those trans women who started doing DIY kasi it also saves life. But at the same time, at SRAP, we promote a harm reduction because again, you're changing your hormones, everything changed, you know? So, and also it can affect your health. So, ayun, so that's my journey. I am as a woman since when I was 20 years old. Yeah, 20 years old. And then, siguro, i-mention ko na lang din. So, sa trans community kasi meron kasing term na passing, ganyan. So, tapos may iba pa yung konsepto ng parang privilege, ganyan. So, parang before I joined STRAM, parang tapos I'm surrounded by straight people, most of my friends are straight, ganyan. So, parang the way I think before, so straight, very hetero. So, parang hindi ko naiintindihan yung mga iba pang issues ng mga trans women. So, na-influensya ako noon, tapos parang the way I look some trans women in the past, parang, ay, bakit hindi siya ganun parang straight, ganyan. So, parang, ayun, so parang, for me, it's harmful at the same time kasi dapat we open a community or a space for everyone. So, we are all diverse. We're not all the same. There are some trans women that are lesbians. Some trans women are bisexual. Some trans women are queer. So, ayun. Baka lang kasi sabihin, nakakaano ko to. Parang, hindi naman ako, nung nag-transition kasi ako, parang feeling ko kasi ang ganang lahat. So, parang, everything is, parang okay lahat. Hindi naman din ako I experienced discrimination, pero kapag narinig ko yung mga story ng discrimination for trans women, na parang pinalis sila sa bathroom, or na parang intentionally misgender sila. Hindi ko naman naranasan yun. I think the value of joining SRAP is also, you know, if you don't experience those such things, be in solidarity with these people. And especially join the organization that fight for the rights of trans women. So, yun lang naman.
How about Miss Kate?
Yeah, good morning, everybody. And I always say good morning because I believe that it's always morning somewhere. So yeah. I'm Venus Sancheta-Lane. I'm also from STRAP, which is also Miss Bell, Miss Sai, and si Miss Gia. We're all part of STRAP now. So, story, just like Gigi, before entering UP, I didn't know yung term and yung concept ng pagiging isang transgender. So when I entered UP, I was surrounded with the people, the women na part din ng isang LGBTQ plus organization sa UP. And doon ko na, kumbaga yun yung naging trans awakening ko, no? Doon ko na-realize na, yes, I'm a trans woman. But all throughout my stay sa UP, hindi pa ako nakapag-start ng medical transition. Why? Because I was also part of the varsity team and also part of a choral group sa UP na hindi pa, at that time, hindi pa nila accepted yung konsepto ng pagiging trans. So, I started my full transition, no? Not the full medical transition, but you know, yung, ano to, yung social transition, thank you so much, Sai. So yung social transition, yung hormone therapy, HRT, sorry tulog pa. But yeah, yung HRT, nag-start na ako after my university life na. So, share ko lang din na it was really hard, especially sa trans community na part ng corporate world, because there are opportunities na hindi man nila sabihin, pero hindi nila ibibigay sa'yo ng madali. So, I think Ms. Gia can attest to that as well because she's part of sa corporate world din. Napakahirap din sa mga trans community at sa mga transgender women at sa mga women mismo. So, dun pa lang, we share the same experience, we share the same story. So, whenever people are asking me, bakit kailangan part yung transgender women community ng Women's Month? I always say na hindi lang ito about dun sa biological story ng isang babae. Kumbaga yung experiences din. No? We may not share everything, yung transgender woman at yung cisgender woman. We may not share all the experiences, pero may mga experiences talaga na kami lang yung nakakaranas at hindi ko nararanasan ng cisgender man at ng mga trans men. So yun lang po, happy Women's Month.
Thank you so much. Actually, I do agree that as trans women, we do have collective experiences of discovering our trans womanhood. Like, ang concept kasi before, like, if you're not straight, kung hindi ka babae or lalaki, you're either baka or tomboy. There's no concept of transgenderism and all. So, yeah, it's a process. It's not an overnight na, okay, we're trans na. It's really a collection of experience. And I also experienced the same. Like, since preschool, alam ko na I'm different. I'm not common, as they say. Hindi ba kayo makapangalang sa exam, princess na nakalagay. And then nakita ko yung mga teachers, princess, gano'n. And yeah, it's really a testament na being a trans woman is not a phase or hindi siya, marami kasi nagkasabi na baka face lang yan or gawa-gawa lang yan. But it is, we exist, we do exist. And of course, before we dive deeper into our discussion this afternoon, I would invite our fellow friends from Ateneo, Ladlan, and our fellow bloggers. If you have any questions, you can jot down while we're doing discussion, and then later on, we're gonna open the floor for questions. Alright, so mapunta ulit tayo sa ating mga youth filmmakers. No? We just want to ask, like, in the creation of the film, usually Miss Vance, what was the moment when I realized that the story is bigger than just a film? Anyone could answer.
Hello. Actually, ako po yung kumukanta kay Miss Bell. So, okay lang po ulit sa kay Miss Bell. Pwede ka bang interview for our documentary? And at first, hindi ko, noong una talaga, hindi ko mag-gets kung bakit kailangan meron tayong talk-talk session. I didn't realize at first kung gano'ng kalaga yung documentary na ginagawa namin. Kasi at first, personally, ang goal lang naman namin is to have a documentary na pwede lang ipasa, na may ipapasa namin for our final project. That's it. That's it. And, ayun, only then, nung how pinapanood ko ulit yung mga videos, that's when I realized na yung experience na na-record sa camera, ito yung experience na binababoy ng lipunan. Ito yung karanasan na patuloy na binababa. At mahalaga siyang mapanood ng ibang tao. No? Hindi lamang kami ng Miss Bell at ng grupo na ito, anong klase namin. Lalo na ngayon, sobrang laki ng hate na natatanggap ng mga trans women. Aura, for example, Ronnie James, paano siya tawagin Ronnie James because of her appearance. Sobrang relevant na pag-usapan natin yung buhay at karanasan ng mga trans women. Hindi yung Women's Month. And to be part of this advocacy in this event, that's when I realized na nag-take part kami sa movement na ito. And kapangyarihan namin bilang student filmmakers ay mahalaga siyang mag-own pa. Ito ay fully realized skill and a voice to influence other people na it's not right na binababa yung halagahan ng mga transversity na natin. And dapat na pag-usapan siya at may maturuan ng mga tradisyonal ng mga tao na itong mga pinag-usapan natin, ito toong tao at hindi sila bagay na pwede mong sirakin. No? Sa isang salita o sa paulit-ulit na malimit. So, ayun.
Dagdag na lang din ako. I agree with Ken, pero I also think na nung simula pa lang, when we got to sit down with Miss Bell, so it was in our circle cafe in UP. And nung nakaupo na kami with her at nakapag-usap kami, we were able to have this very brief but sobrang malaman na conversation with Miss Bell. At parang we got to know her on a deeper level. Kasi before that, we were only aware of yung political engagements niya, yung activism niya. Pero getting to sit down and talk with her, we were able to have a humanized picture of Miss Bell as a person and we represent niya ang community. At para sa amin din, noong moment na yun, parang nakakuha kami ng advice from her as young queer people about na parang navigate pa lang yung early journey of our life. So parang with that conversation, I think sobrang naging meaningful na even nandoon pa lang kami at ginagawa pa lang namin yung project. So,
Second, I just add, it also presents when we're doing this, like ako yung personal. My journey is not a perfect journey, and let's say I'm imperfect myself, no. And then, so kumayag ako to show them that there is a face of trans women, kasi akala nung marami, iilan lang siya. And that's why we have Miss Venus and Miss Gigi here, to give you other lived experiences of trans women. At hindi siya cardboard cutouts, yung mga trans women lives. And that's why, kung mapapansin nyo, we have here Saturday, sila Michaela, they're also doing a study on LGBT issues and rights. And I want to tell the students, now what they're doing is bigger than just a requisite of their studies, but they're also helping us present a platform of what we're fighting for and what we're standing for bilang mga tao. That's why we're also grateful yung binubuksan nila. At siguro, before your next question, Sai, let's ask, Ms. Gigi, what are the prevalent problems now of trans women, aside yung binanggit ko kanina na non-inclusion, na pagsasantabi sa mga trans women, or ano pa yung mga ibang basura, sorry to say that, na kinakarap ng pag-isa babaeng transgender.
Siguro I can give and then Venus can add. So, well, of course, number one is discrimination and violence. So, sa STRAP po, meron kasi, kami patuloy kami nag-report, no, nag-share from our channels, no, even to our network, no, if there is a trans woman who experience discrimination or violence. And then last year, we wrote a letter to the Commission on Human Rights kasi during Pride Month, may dalawa po kasing trans woman na pinatay or trigger warning, no? So may pinatay po na dalawang transgender woman. Pero prior to that, meron ng dalawang trans women na pinatay before the Pride Month. So nakaka-alarma siya kasi parang kami sa STRAP, we na parang napaka-disposable ng katawan ng isang trans, no? Kasi when you look at those cases, napaka-brutal nga ng mga pagpatay sa mga trans women. No? Kumbaga parang pinatay ka na nga, tapos lalabas ko sa mga media yung mga dead name or government names pa ng mga trans women. So isa yun sa mga pinakaharap ng society of trans women, ng buong community ng trans women, no? Kasi kung titignan nyo po, no, hindi lang, kasi may mga narratives sa argument na parang, hindi lang naman trans women yung nakakaranas niyan, ganyan. Pero kailangan kasi natin tignan, no, ano ba ang kalagayan ng mga trans women sa lipunan natin. At within, parang nandun kasi kami sa parang, line of being a marginalized sector. Tapos, ang hirap pa kasi kung trans ka, sa hierarchy, kumbaga parang number one ang trans na nakaka-experience ng violence compared to the others. So, mataas talaga yung level of violence for transgender women. Other than that, ang hirap din ng access for gender-affirming care para sa amin kasi una, walang enough na doctor na nag-specialize for transgender women and hindi natin alam kung some of the doctors are open to this, diba? Kasi kung titignan nyo yung ibang bansa, sa ibang bansa, somehow, no, hindi naman totally perfect, no, pero advanced na sila when it comes to transgender health. So yung access for that, mahirap pa rin talaga siya sa Philippines. Mahal siya, to be honest. So, na-realize ko lang din pala na mas mahal pala siya sa trans kaysa sa trans man, no? Kasi parang sa transgender women, meron kaming blockers, meron kaming tinitake for estrogen, unlike with trans men, they take testosterone, gano'n. So parang, mas mataas sa pagiging trans woman. Gano'n. So, ayun, no, so yung access, mahirap, yung policy when it comes to gender-affirming care, mahirap din, wala pa siya. Pagdating sa healthcare system ng Pilipinas, hindi pa siya gano'n na pag-uusapan. Ano pa, siguro sa work inclusion, Venus can talk about that. Yung pagdating naman din sa legal gender, at saka sa first name, nahihirapan din kami kasi may mga instances or may mga stories sa mga transgender women with their access services. Pinaka-worst ay nadidinay, no? But yung iba naman na may misgender, yung iba naman parang they don't want to feel embarrassed kasi tatawagin yung first name nila or yung dead name nila or yung government name nila. Tapos hindi sila, alam mo yun, kasi may tinatawag kasi live name, no? So when you ask a trans person, parang anong live name mo? So yung live name po, yun po yung name na, or yung identity namin na ginagamit when we started transitioning. So napaka-importante po nun dahil hindi po yun live name na inisip lang namin na parang one day ako si Princess nga, diba? Hindi siya, no? It's also a journey for us. So kaya nilalaban din namin sa STRAP yung legal gender recognition. Dahil yung legal gender recognition na focus namin, nakaugat din naman yan sa International Human Rights Mechanism, wherein yung mga principles that says that, we should allow trans people to use their name or their legal gender because it's a human rights. So, ayun, and maybe hindi na spend out.
Siguro ang i-add ko na lang is yung pinaka-basic, yung tingin ng society sa trans community. In the Philippines, well, in everywhere naman, no, sa societal setup natin, sa societal pyramid, nasa bottom ng pyramid yung LGBTQ+ community. And within the community, nasa bottom yung transgender community. So dun pa lang, parang kumbaga, masakit man sabihin, pero marami talagang tao ang hindi nagbibigay ng respeto sa trans community. So kahit anong pagpupursige namin, kahit anong achievements ang ibigay namin or ilatag namin sa society, nababaliwala siya. Why? Because we are trans women. Sa professional world, or sa corporate world, makikita nyo na napaka-konti ng trans women leaders. Kahit na ako personally, ang dami kong kilala na trans women na leader material talaga sila. Pero hindi sila nabibigyan ng opportunity. Why? Because kahit sinasabi ng mga companies na, yes, we're promoting DEI, churulot, pero alam mo, hindi pa rin talaga nagbibigay yung mga opportunities na yun sa mga trans women. Me personally, I experienced that. Pero talagang pinursige ko. Kumbaga, ipinilit ko yung sarili ko sa leadership role. Kumbaga, sorry, pero nung nakakuha ko ng leadership award last 2024, it was given to me by an international organization. That was like my fuck you to those who doubted my leadership skills. So, dun pa lang parang, ayun, makikita talaga yung struggle ng trans community.
Thank you so much for sharing. Actually, going back to what our filmmakers have said earlier, I do agree na the importance of having a talk is that yung film kasi na ginawa is para hindi lang siya matatapos sa panonood natin. It is created to create more conversations like this, discussions. Kasi kung matitigil lang siya sa pagpapanood ng mga film, that's it. That's the end goal, which is enough. That's why we're having conversations like this para mapag-usapan. For example, yung mga story ng mga trans Pinay na not recognized in their live names when involved in violence. Also, mentioned in STRAP's project there, if I'm not mistaken. Also, the stereotype of trans women, natin isa lang na ang kind ng mga trans women. Siyempre, as cis women and men, iba din naman tayo ng mga personalities, but still, trans women are stereotyped. Next is LGR, of course, to be recognizing our live names, and trans healthcare. Napakamahal po talaga ng hormones. Tapos, people would just, meron kasi mga tao na they are just not aware on how to call us. And that's alright, because what we want to do is to educate them. Pero may mga tao din kasi na they do it intentionally. And it is somehow degrading on our existence since aside from the fact that mahal ang hormones, our discovery and building of our womanhood is not an easy process as well. And harsh words can really kaya nang magsakilahan ng efforts namin. And that's why we're having these conversations. And I am happy and thankful that you're sharing your stories, my dear sisters. And mabalik ulit tayo sa ating mga filmmakers. No? Bilang storytellers, how do you carry stories na nagagaling sa mga marginalized communities like the trans women? Like, I know it's very difficult to tell stories that are not unique to us, so how do you carry it?
actually, sa kaso pa lang tanong sa amin yan, sino ba yung pwedeng gumawa ng mga queer films? No? Queer lang ba? Or pwede rin ba yung mga straight people, no? But I think, you know, as long as you learn the language of queer people, you can create a film. Hindi naman yung mahalaga. Kasi maganda naman yung pang-alay. Maganda naman yung may katulong pa para iparating yung gusto mo matutunan ng mga tao. And, yeah, mahalaga na as a film filmmaker, matutunan din namin kung bakit, hindi lang basta na-exploit yung story ng mga trans women. Kasi gano'n usually kapag nag-cover ka ng isang documentary, in-cover mo yung isang kwento, for example, ng isang trans woman, hanggang doon na lang. Wala na pananagutan after the film. And having this talk wrapping natin, na parang pananagutan din namin kay Miss Bems, na Miss Bems, hindi ka Miss Bems, tawag doon, hindi ka nag-ginamit namin sa aming project. But also, yun nga, natutunan kasi namin na na mahalaga yung ginagawa namin. And maganda na simula pa lang ay nahuhubog na kami bilang mga filmmaker na ikwento ang storya na kahit hindi man namin naranasan. No? But napag-aral at natitindihan namin mula sa tao na ito.
Well, of course, maraming salamat.